2, 1.
Hello, my name is Leo Fantini, and I'm a realtor here in Bellingham, and I'm also a member of the Bellingham Business Association, and I'm pleased to be this month's host for Strictly Business, presented by the Bellingham Business Association. The BBA is a local business organization which works towards supporting local businesses, and it also believes in giving back to the people in the communities that the BBA serves. Today's guests are Marty Souza from Marty's Auto and Richard Goldberg from Marshall's Jewelers. Marty, Richard, welcome to today's
Good afternoon.
program. Now, before speaking with our guests, I'd like to give you a brief recap of the last BBA meeting, which was held on February 16th at the Rockland Trust, and it was catered by Lowell's Restaurant. Each BBA meeting is held on the third Wednesday of the month at a local business or town facility from 6 to 8 p.m. And the meeting features guest speakers presenting a topic of interest to local businesses. The meetings include a dinner catered by a local restaurant, as well as time for those attending to network together. And as I mentioned, our last meeting was catered by Lowell's Restaurant, held at Rockland Trust. Now, the topic of the February meeting was marketing, and the guest speakers included Mike Trevor Trend from Send Out Cards and Tom McAuliffe from WMRC Radio. The information that they provided certainly related to how businesses can enhance their visibility as well as become more successful in today's market, and they shared these wonderful thoughts with those in attendance to bring back to their businesses that evening and that day. Now, I'd like to once again get to our guests, Marty and Richard. Thank you for being guests on today's program. And if I could, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your businesses that can help people out in terms of how you started, where we're at today, how you enhance your business, how you keep your clients coming back, how you provide services to them, and so on. So, Marty, if you would tell us about your business in regard to its history and the products and services you provide. You certainly have been in business in Bellingham for quite some time. Richard, you're new to Bellingham, however, not to the business,
Exactly.
the jewelry business. So could you share some thoughts with us, Marty?
Well, I started in 1994, great town, Bellingham. Got a lot of good businesses in it and a lot of good people. I started after I purchased the property from Martha Bennett, and started towing, and then the towing led to the auto body. And once we started into the auto body, we started hiring 1 or 2 people, and then it got up to 3 or 4, and expanded the building, and then expanded it again. And now it's to the point where we've gone as far as we're going. 18 employees later. We have a real good staff in the front office. We do an awful lot of insurance work. The biggest thing is my staff in the front office are very familiar with the insurance company and how it works to help you through your collision problems, if there is any problems. And we work very well with the insurance companies to get your car, going back in shape that it was prior to the accident, and the customer service part of the business is now greater than ever. Now people have gone back to the customer service. They'd rather have that than for the last few years. People kind of were just pushed along and it was all about the money. Now it's going back to anybody that survives this downfall that we had in the economy, of finding out that if the business doesn't do the customer service, they're going to end up falling behind because the customers are more aware and they want, for their money, they want a big bang for their buck.
So actually, from where you began, Marty, to where you are now, it appears that you did many things right to grow your business, not only for the clientele that you started with and then the referrals you got, it just just kept growing and growing and growing. So certainly that's very important to making a business work and make it successful. Richard, how about yourself? You've been in the jewelry business for quite some time, however new to Bellingham, so would you tell us about your business, please?
Well, Marshall's was started by my great-grandparents in 1919 as a clothing store, and then it became a jewelry store in 1956. So I joke that, yes, I'm new to the neighborhood, but definitely not new to the jewelry business. I grew up in the business, and depending on how you count it, it's been about 27 years of helping people with jewelry. In 56 as my family's business. I bought the business from my folks after working for them for 25 years, about 4.5 years ago, and I tried to shore up things and do things a little bit my way, and then it became time to grow. And I was looking for a great opportunity, and I saw the new plaza down on the Bellingham-Franklin town line, and we took 3,300 square feet, and we're building our main office with both a beautiful jewelry showroom and then the administrative offices and the bookkeeper, and then our state-of-the-art jewelry repair shop, which is really what I specialize in, custom designs and repairing jewelry.
Now, I've certainly been in your stores, and you mentioned that you repair jewelry. Do you also design jewelry, watches, necklaces, bracelets, that sort of thing?
You know, that's one of my specialties, really. That's when it gets fun. You know, my joke is changing a watch battery. At this point, I've probably done about 6,000 in my life. That's not so exciting anymore. But taking someone's grandma's ring that isn't quite your taste and taking out the stones and making something new and reusing the gold, that's what gets me excited about my business, and I love doing that. Yes, we do. And we do it all at my store. We don't send it away somewhere.
Marty, and I've visited your facility a few different times, and I have to say, absolutely beautiful. You know, with the front you have, and the people that you have working for you are very welcoming, very attentive to anybody that walks in. So that says a lot about the business. And the same thing with your people, Richard. So absolutely fantastic. That goes a long way in not only bringing new customers back, but having those customers refer people to you as well. So, now, certainly there are challenges in businesses today, no matter what your business happens to be. Richard, could you share with us what your greatest challenge is in today's business?
Well, I would say there's a short term and a long term. The short term was all of January with all the snow. That certainly didn't help anything and anyone in the business community. Maybe with accidents. Maybe it generated a lot of accidents for you, Marty. But for me, it's really getting the word out to people that we're here. You don't have to go outside the local area to get a quality company. You don't have to go to Boston, Providence. There's a great jeweler in your neighborhood. People often tend to downgrade a local business for some sort of better, bigger, big box store. It's not necessary. You get a much higher level of personal service, which was what we were talking about. You know, you're dealing with the owner, or you're dealing with someone who, if there's a problem, will get right to the owner, and things can get resolved quickly.
Marty, how about yourself? Challenges for your business?
The biggest challenges are you got to stay up with the insurance companies, meaning the new programs they come up with that they put into works, as it would say, so that if you're falling behind and you don't have the computers with the programs that they need, because they do a lot of where the estimates used to be that everything was handwritten, now everything's done by the computer, and you'll, in the middle of the process, you'll download pictures directly to the insurance company while you're doing the repairs. Customers like to see pictures of their cars, why they're being repaired, so now it's getting to the point where I think you're going to need to either stay up or fall way behind, and it's getting to the point where customers, I think, are more aware of their repairs and stuff today, and plus we kind of coach them through it when they come in. From the minute they come through the door, we coach them through the whole program, so they're more aware of what's being done about their car, where before you used to drop it off at the body shop and that's it, you wouldn't hear another peep. Where now we kind of help them out, get their rental for them if they have rental, or if somebody hit them, we tell them how to go about getting the rental from the insurance company, where normally there's places that They don't help you with that. They say, go get your estimate. Once you get the estimate, come back, and that's it. Well, people, they don't have the knowledge for the insurance business. And we do a lot of private stuff also, and they expect the same quality. So
it's almost like a one-stop shop. And also I would think, you mentioned that you can take pictures, send information off to the insurance companies and so on. I would think that your technicians need to keep up with the latest and greatest in technology because it changes.
That's correct.
On a daily basis, really, when you think about it. So, well, gentlemen, you kind of alluded to this. However, if you could share some more information in terms of keeping your clientele. How do you keep it? How do you keep it coming back? What kind of services do you provide that really say to people, Marty's is where we want to go? Marshall's is where we want to go. Richard?
With jewelry, because it's a sentimentally driven business. Often you're dealing with either an engagement ring, a wedding band, grandma's piece, something that has value that exceeds the actual financial value. Might be an old ring that might not be worth a lot, but your grandfather gave it to you a couple of years before he passed on, and it means the world to you. That one of the things that we offer is that we do our own work. It doesn't leave the building. It's done in my store under our custody. For instance, I invested in an almost 9,000 pound safe just so that I can sleep at night and my customers can sleep at night. And just before I got here for this interview, I had a lady come in, and one of the questions she asked me was, how secure is my jewelry with you at night? And I pulled out my phone, and I have a picture of me and the safe 4 feet taller than me on my Facebook page, and I said, here's the safe. That ended that conversation right there. So I think it's easy to say personal service, but it's really that we do it all and that it doesn't have to go somewhere.
Marty, how about yourself?
I forget the question.
How
I was
do you-
kind of
how do
very
you-
interested in what you were talking
Thank you,
about.
Marty.
He does.
appreciate
Richard shares some good information.
Very good.
Keeping your clientele, keeping them happy, having them come back, what do you do in that regard?
Customer service. That's what it's all about. In other words, you go the extra yard where you help them through their process of, the insurance companies are so big and there's so many people that work there. Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle and you really can't keep, if the average person is trying to get the claim going and trying to get through the claim, you kind of get lost in the shuffle. Next thing you know, you said, geez, I'm so confused now, I don't know what I'm doing. So we help them through all of that and make sure that when their job is done, they're pleased with it. If they have something that comes, say if you have a warranty problem, they have a light bulb goes out or something 6 months or a year down the road, they come in, oh, I have a light bulb that's gone. Fix it right away. Don't wait weeks, months, and just keep blowing the person off. Just take care of it right away, and you'll keep those customers. And the thing is, if they're happy, they'll tell everybody. And that's how we've grown to the point where it's not just Bellingham anymore. It's all the surrounding towns that we're covering that we get our work from. And I think they're very pleased because we also have these little cards that we send out. How'd we do? After the car's gone, fill out the card, send it back to us, and let us know how we did. How could we do something any different for you than we're already doing, right? And you get some pretty good people getting back to you and letting you know how they feel, and it's very good. I mean, it's good for us because it'll tell us, hey, that's great, this is working. And so it makes it so our business thrives even better.
Well, as both of you were saying, it's customer service. However, there's one thing that you mentioned, Marty, and I'm sure you'd agree, Richard, that is very, very important, and that's that you communicate right away with a customer.
Absolutely.
People today want to be heard basically instantaneously. And if you don't get right back to them, they're going to call somebody else.
Agreed.
And by don't get right back to them, it could be an hour, could be a couple of hours. They want you to let them know that you care by just getting in touch with them and helping them with whatever problem they have. In your case, Richard, certainly, picking out a nice piece of jewelry for a significant other or repairing a piece of jewelry. My car is broken down. I need it yesterday. What can you do for me, Marty? Come on in and I'll show you what I can do.
Let's show you what we do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, gentlemen, question about yourselves. I think it's, always very interesting to find out something about people that you know and respect. What is it about yourselves that you feel would surprise people? Marty?
At my age, nothing. Nothing would
at all.
surprise them. No. I can't think of anything that would surprise anybody because, like I said, it's not like I hide anything. Meaning my business is everything. The people that I have that come to the shop, my customers, friends, they're all part of my life. In other words, there's something that we deal with them through. When the grandparents came, then the parents, and now the kids. Now we have the kids coming to the shop now that now have their licenses. So it's just this. It's one of those things where there's nothing really to hide. Otherwise, or any secret. It's just I just enjoy what I do, and I do enjoy my business.
Yeah, that's quite obvious. So you're at a point where everything's out there. Everybody knows you and knows you
Everybody
well.
knows me. That's
Very
it.
good. Richard, how about yourself?
The thing that throws people off often, you can see I have an American flag pin on, but usually I have my NASCAR pin on. And most people look
NASCAR
at me and
pin.
say, "You're a NASCAR fan?" Up in Massachusetts. So I'm a big NASCAR fan. That surprises a lot of people. Why?
NASCAR fan because...
I love anything with an internal combustion engine. I love racing.
You two guys
See?
get along very
Yeah,
well. huh?
Absolutely. Cars, planes, trains, boats. Love.
What is it
love
about
that.
NASCAR that you like the most?
I like the drama between and the personalities. It's like a long-running soap opera of this guy doesn't like that guy. You should have seen what happened last week between these two. And fate would have it that they're starting the race right next to each other this week. And I find that it's much more than just everybody going left.
Very good. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, you've been in business. Two of you have been in business for quite some time. You're very successful at what you do. Richard, somebody new to the business, what kind of advice would you give them, someone who wanted to start in the jewelry business, let's say?
Education. I think the foundation of it is knowing about gemstones, and there's a big school for that in California, in Carlsbad, California. It's kind of like a junior college. It's a year-long program, and really that's the building block for my business, to at least know what something is when it comes across the counter to you or when you're selling it to someone. But then I think the next biggest thing is finding a mentor, finding someone who's has if I made my NASCAR analogy, maybe 20 or 30 years of laps around the track and has seen it before a couple of times, and you can ask. Not have to make your own mistakes.
Education and having a mentor to kind of help you along the way. Marty, what about yourself? What would you suggest to somebody who says, I'd really like to get into the auto repair business, that type of thing?
You mean to start it themselves?
Yes.
I think it would be a very, very, very expensive feat. It's got to the point where to start an auto body now, unless you have a lot of money to buy the equipment you need and everything, and then you're going to have to be able to afford to pay good technicians to do the work. And it's made it to the point, the new cars, they need a lot more diagnostics and whatnot today. So there's so much that you have to buy to make a body shop start today that it's almost impossible to do. I mean, can it be done? Sure. But I think the insurance companies expect an awful lot out of a body shop, and I think the insurance companies drive the shops, meaning I think they're the ones who say, okay, if you enlarge, we can give you more. They're not really giving you anything because the customer has the choice in Massachusetts whether they want to go to your shop or somebody else's, and we do make it a point to tell them that you do not have to, use us if you choose. You can use anybody you want in the state of Massachusetts, and at that point, yeah, I would say it would be a very expensive feat. Not that Richard's business wouldn't be hard to get into either, but if you're going to turn around and start a jewelry shop, I'm sure you have to have a ton of money to buy supplies and everything else that you're going to need to go with it.
And creditors who know you or vendors who know you to feel comfortable working with you if they've been extending the credit.
And that takes years to do.
Exactly.
It's not something that you're going to
Relationships.
start. You know, it's you know, if you go in. When I started, I went. When I started that business, I was well over a year before I took a paycheck out of that business. Every dime I made there, I put into that business, and just to build it up, and go, and that's what we did. So little by little, it grew to the point of where it is today, and we still don't have the big boats, don't have the planes, none of that stuff. I really put it into the business, and I think anybody that comes there, if they haven't seen it and actually been in it, it shows that we spend a lot of money there, and to keep it looking nice and make it so that when the people come in, and we do have a lot of female customers now versus before. It used to be a male type business. Basically, they'd be the only ones coming in with their wives' cars, but now it's got to the point where you get everybody coming. And they're comfortable at it. It's clean, and that's how it's got to this point. But as far as somebody starting a shop right now, it would be very tough, very, very tough because of the amount of money you'd have to spend.
So you'd need, well, as you say, startup money. However, you'd also need something put away to live on, because you're not going to really make anything when your business for a start. You're going to have to start building that business. Now, Richard had mentioned education, and in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, as you were speaking, you know, what do your people do? What do your technicians do in order to keep up with what they need to, with the way cars are changing today? You know, we had a little conversation before we started taping this program about, you know, cars
Technology.
that you buy, that there's all kinds of good things in there, you know, all the bells and whistles that you have to learn about. So how do your technicians keep up on all of this?
A lot of the stuff is, I don't think that manufacturers change it that elaborate that fast, because I think they're still using part of the parts that they have from a prior year. So most of it they can stay ahead of, but other times they have to go to classes, and then they have classes in different locations in the state and Rhode Island, but they also have classes about painting, meaning on the different finishes on cars today, and that's changing again. Now they're going to what they call a waterborne paint, which is new, but it's getting to the point where if they don't go to the schools or they don't keep up with what they're doing, they're going to fall behind. So if you got out of the auto body business and you were a technician and you were out for 5 years, when you came back, a lot of things would change in a matter of 5 years. So,
Exactly.
and I'm not even sure that, to be honest with you, Leo, I'm not even sure that the dealerships can stay ahead of what's happening right now, because if you send a car to a dealership sometimes and you have a problem with lights on the dash or something, a lot of times they don't even know how to put them out. So it's getting that, you know, touchy with the vehicles today.
So the learning curve is always there, and you have to hopefully try to keep ahead of it.
That's it.
Now, gentlemen, in any business, and I think the longer you've been in business, the more this happens to you. And what I'm alluding to is mistakes. We all make mistakes. Would you share with us a mistake that you made, that you learned from, how you overcame that mistake, that would help out people that are listening? Marty?
Mistakes. I don't think I made all that many so far. So
That's
far,
good. That's
I think we all make mistakes, and the thing is, sometimes it may be as simple as you hired an employee that you assumed was more talented at what he did than he was. You may pay somebody, like you might have somebody that you're buying supplies off of, and you find out, well, he's not such a good deal. You know, there are better deals out there, but sometimes the cheapest is not the best. It's what they can help you with. But as far as the building or anything to do with the business, I think we did pretty good when it came to, you know, figuring out what to do and what to do next, because, you know, I was a mentor to a very good businessman, and he taught me an awful lot. His name was Billy Hood.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And I worked for him. I was a boss for him for 14 years. And he taught me a lot. That man was a very, very smart businessman. And I retained a lot of what he taught me, and it's helped me immensely with that business. And he was always, well, not always, but a good part of his business career was in the automotive business. So that's why I decided to pick it up and run, even though he wasn't in the body shop business, but he's still in the insurance business. So you know, it was a good business. To me, it was a good business to try, and it worked out well.
So case in point for the mentor. Richard, how about yourself?
I have to agree with Marty. One situation I have now is that I hired someone whose talent I thought was far exceeds what they really are, and I'm having to deal with that. The other one that pops into my mind is marketing. It's always easy to over-market, and that's a bigger postcard program, do flyers, get on the radio, maybe go to a Boston radio station as opposed to a local radio station, and then you realize that you've spent a lot of money that really didn't have a lot of return. And I've done that once. Maybe every couple of years I forget the lesson, and then it happens again, and I remind myself that I should have remembered to stay local and focus on local and not be chasing a wide variety, but everybody, as many people as I can inside my own community.
So, as you're saying, those advertising dollars need to be spent wisely.
Very wisely.
And rather than just throwing them out there, narrow things down, focus on where your advertising dollars will be well spent.
Exactly.
As well as spent incorrectly, that sort of thing.
It's exciting to be on a fancy station or on TV, but is that really going to bring you business?
Well, the thing too is, you know, you mentioned business, and you said you had a lady come in who said, how do I know my jewelry's going to be safe? And instantaneously, you pulled out your phone, showed her a picture, there it is. It's there. It's there. As opposed to spending, you know, an inordinate amount of time explaining something. It's right there to help out. Gave the answer, and she's a customer of yours. Well, gentlemen, Marty, Richard, thank you very, very much for being on Strictly Business today. As I mentioned, it's sponsored by the Bellingham Business Association. And the March meeting of the BBA is going to be held on March 16th. It's at the Charles River Bank, and the topic will be networking. If you want to call networking a topic, it's people getting together, sharing thoughts and ideas, referrals with one another. And the meeting is going to be catered by the Outback. So once again, we have a wonderful meal, which will be ready for all in attendance. And for more information about the Bellingham Business Association, please visit our website at www.bellinghambusinessassociation.org. Once again, www.bellinghambusinessassociation.org. It'll give you all the information that you need in order to find out more about the BBA, becoming a member, answering questions, and we are always looking for new members, and certainly would be pleased to discuss membership and our organization with you. So thank you for being with us. Have a wonderful day.